Well, today on the workbench we've got this gear robot, more specifically made by Yoshia, which is KO, and shares a name with many of the robots. It's called High Wheel Robot. In this case it's the battery operated remote control version. Came out in 1965 originally, 6-gear version. Now there are wind-up versions and different color variations, and there's even other robots that share the name High Wheel. But in this case it was sent to me for not working, and the biggest problem with any of these wired remote control toys that are 60 to 70 years old is that the wires become very solid. The polyvinyl coating they put on there kind of solidifies, and it's easy to crack and break. In this case the connection broke loose where it solders inside this backpack. So in order to reattach it, and I confirmed that with a voltmeter, I simply had to remove the backpack, resolder it, and clip that back on. Now, of course, if you were going to repair it really properly, you would replace the whole wire with something that's new and still supple. But it's always best on these vintage toys to keep it as much original as you can, and this is the original wire. Now, they had these living hinge, which means just molded plastic remotes, which are pretty much garbage, but that's what they came with. It holds 2 D cells, and I could see that the push button control up in this one has been worked on before, but I had to take it apart to find out where the voltage was stopping at. Looked in there, cleaned that kind of up, and you know, just by moving it around, it's very possible that you could break the wires loose again, but at least in this case the wires are visible. You can get to them without taking anything further apart at that point. What else? Oh, if you have to get one of these going, let's say it's running but not running well, if you look in the mouth, see that hole back there and that shiny thing? That is actually a hole right into the brush area of the motor. So if you get your electronic part cleaner with the thin hose on it, you can reach in there once you get the toy running, and you can hose those brushes down a little bit to get the motor running back up to full speed like new. Now there are 2 lights in the toy. They have a light back behind the 6 moving gears, and there's a light in the head besides the walking action. You can see it's a very good walker, silent. There's the gear action. You can see the red light that's in there, and there's the light that's up in the head. If you want to see a side action, then the antenna is somewhat adjustable in that there is a rubber stopper. Well, there's a piece of rubber with a hole in it that this metal antenna passes through, and it's long, so when the backpack is folded in place, it bends the rubber over to apply friction. So if you pull the antenna up, it should stay up, or if you push it down, it should stay down. So it had an adjustable antenna, remote control, battery operated, came around 1965. It's almost all tin except for the hands, and of course the gear is in this clear part that you can see, which is actually the right blend. When I was a kid, everything was pretty much tin, because I'm old, and when you got a robot that actually had some clear plastic or plastic parts attached to it, that made it pretty cool. So this is a good blend, a good balance. I guess the only thing that would have been better is if the hands could have been tin and just these parts were left rubber. But there you have it, Yoshia KO. It's your battery operated remote control high wheel robot.